Okay, so where we last left off, the party had just finished completing the three trials at Raven's Point to claim Spiritbreaker, a hammer that Irini and Matra had attained information about that will be useful in their cause, or your cause, to try and both stop Hedrun as well as save Atina. Um, Athros and Ebrin had completed the second trial. We know that Bigtoon and Athros had completed the first trial, which was trial by combat. Second trial was essentially a mirror puzzle, trying to determine how to essentially take a hammer from an opposite side of the arena, and return it to your own side. Athros and Ebrin used a method of grabbing and feeling for an invisible-ish hammer. There was nothing there, to try and grab the one from the opposite side, and then through some finagling was able to grab the hammer from the middle, but not before launching the original hammer over the edge of the cliffside and a new one forming, due to a poor athletics roll, I believe it was. Successfully completed the second trial, and Ono and Athros completed the third trial, which was the trial of willpower, which essentially the two of them drank a suspicious purple liquid, which was later revealed to be a substance known as Raven's Blood, that is used in several different rituals tied to the Raven Queen herself. What Athros and Ono realized doing this ritual, upon talking to the figure, a priestess of some sort tied to the Raven Queen and tied to this trial, was that it wasn't so much a poison so much as a potion, and the trial itself was enduring it long enough to get essential information or desired information for future events to come. The trial was set in a way that ideally there's a thread that's tethering you and your ally together, and Ono and Athros together both succeeded on the first two checks of the trial, and only Athros succeeded on the last one, which meant that he had to complete the last section by himself, which really wasn't so much completing anything extra, more than attaining extra information that Ono was not able to claim for himself. Upon completing this, there were a couple bits of information that were revealed, some of which might be beneficial to, I guess, Miris too, since you weren't here. The first one was that they mentioned they mentioned a ritual that is known as the Art of Crimson Soul Salvagery, which is what Hedrun is trying to complete, and that the ritual itself was created by a group known as the Order of the Black Moon. What else was there? During the trial itself, the party was given information pertaining to how to stop Hedrun and the pieces that were needed for her ritual. So Zienna represents the last piece that she needs, which the party did know going into this event, but they were given the information of how to stop the ritual, which essentially came down to if they could not stop her before the ritual would begin, they would need to stop the funnel of arcane power into the ziggurat, and they also have to, in order to separate Hedrun from Atina, deal with her total of 3 simulacrum, one of which is already dead, which was killed in Sunblight Fortress, and then the other 2 being the frozen serpent that the party had succumbed to before, and a newfound recreated rendition of Sephic Caltro, which seems to be guarding somewhere within the ziggurat itself. The party then, after completing this ritual, these trials, returned to the lightning tank, where they reconvened with Spit and began setting off toward the location that, or in the direction of where Zienna was last seen or heard of. Athros being given a vision kind of where the location might be during his final conversation with the Raven Priestess. Information that Athros had given, just to make sure everyone was aware of, was that he was made aware that Hedrun is already in contact with Zienna, and they are currently in the middle of some form of Druid Encampment, somewhere in the forest. So, and that she will probably be, the plan is to take Zienna within the next 24 hours. So the party has within 24 hours to try and stop her from doing so, or she'll take Zienna from the Druid Encampment. I think that's it. Did I miss any details?
I don't think so, but I mean, I was pretty in and out towards the end of last week, so.
That's fair. It was very much a roleplay session last week.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was when I had to put Max to bed by myself.
Also
so.
true. Also true.
Oh, he wanted to say hi to you guys, apparently. He's about to go night-night now.
All right. So where we will pick things up then is the party would have just reached and crossed the bridge that leads down over the Red Run, leading into the forest surrounding the Ten Trail. Which, if you're looking at the map of the Icewind Dales, I guess you would actually be probably one more up. You'd be over here. As you traverse this wilderness, time passing rather slowly because the tank only moves so fast, being pulled by our wonderful polar bear duo. So, as I think it's Spit who has the reins, the party would be currently left to their own devices if there's anything they need to discuss. Oh no, the entire party consisting of a lot of freaking people in this tank right now. The four of you, Irini, Maitra, Ono, and God, what's her face? The old hag lady and the skeleton of the sheriff. I gotta look up her name. This is the one time I should know it. I don't remember it.
It's a V, wasn't it? Zienna?
Something along those lines. Fuck.
What do I want to say?
I want to say it's like Valine or something.
Yeah, I'm looking at the campaign art, and that's correct.
Harpel? Yeah.
Oh, I'm so smart for doing that. Thank you, Valine Harpel. Appreciate that. That was clutch. Okay. So, White V Tank is traveling south down the Ten Trail at this time. I would say, is anybody, besides Spit, would anybody want to be some form of lookout or be on the lookout for anything out of the norm? Or is, I guess...
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Big Tune, I would like for you to make a perception check.
That's good.
Okay. As you're kind of keeping watch, on the lookout for anything kind of out of the norm, with Spit kind of holding onto the reins, Ebrin next to him. At this point in time, you don't really see anything that would really draw your attention. There seems to be a small storm kicking up, coming over the spine of the world right now, and it seems to kind of obscure your vision out beyond like probably about 60, 70 feet. Nothing horrible yet, but you do suspect within the next few hours it'll probably begin to pick up a little bit.
Okay.
Ona would look to the party, and everyone would be within earshot. Did anybody maybe have an idea as to how we're going to, either stop Hedrun at this camp thing, or save Zienna or get her out of there? Or I guess, does anybody have an idea?
Stop Hedrun with new hammer?
Yeah, I mean, kill?
Uh,
We go bam, 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 and slash, slash, slash.
Yeah. You tell me what to smash.
Well,
You point, we smash.
Yeah.
And you are both very good at that. I mean, obviously, the goal is to smash Hedrun. I just she was in the camp with Zienna. You mentioned, I think, earlier. Is that right? She was in the camp with them, like somewhere.
Yeah. She infiltrated the camp, is what I was told. I also saw, I think, a woman with like half black, half white hair.
And you would hear
sitting next
Matra,
to-
half black, half white. That's I feel pretty confident that would be my sister.
Oh. Okay, so how about we just go on there? You come with us. You tell her to come with us, and then we leave. And if anyone follows us, we just kill them. Because they're probably bad, right?
Sounds like right to me.
Yeah. Like if you're sisters, she would trust you, right? Or is there some family drama going on?
Well,
Uh-oh.
we're not exactly on the greatest of terms, I suppose. Like, I don't think she'd kill me, but I don't know how much of what I say she'll believe right off the bat. Ever since I acquired my magic through the means that I did, she became kind of standoffish. Sort of you're breaking the normal way of how things be, and all that jazz. Wasn't very happy, to say the least. Apparently people don't like it when you make bargains to get power. Who knew?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Ebron is being very quiet.
Yeah, that he is.
Chilling was fit.
Aridi, can you like magically charm someone just to like follow us by chance?
Let me look and see what spells she has. I feel like she probably can.
I would think, being a bard, I'm hoping so.
I mean, I could command her to.
You do like doing that.
I do like doing that. That is very true. But beyond that, I wouldn't say it's in my repertoire right now. I can heat the fuck out of some metal though.
Oh. Ebron, would you want to put a knife to her neck like you did to Athena? And like just kidnap her? Like you did to Athena? Make it a family thing that you do?
Well, it wasn't really a kidnapping. It was more or less like, hey, you just tried murdering me last night when my party decided to play a joke and make us sleep in the same room together type thing. So.
Hey, but you gotta admit that was pretty funny.
Ono would chime in. It was hilarious, but looking back at it now, I can see where there might have been some trauma.
Nope, no Rugrats.
Okay.
Well, so are we back to just kill everyone except for Athena's sister? Whatever her name is.
It's Zienna. Matra would chime in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I apologize. Our names are kind of annoying. Trust, I get it.
Right.
I mean, I would, as long as she's okay. I don't really have an opinion on what happens to the druids. Or
Wow. Athena's now a murderer. Or is okay with murder.
I've seen you guys do a lot, and it's tend to be a bit better than versus worse, regardless of what happens. And she like looks at the skeleton of the sheriff. I mean, this one might be an odd one out, but I think overall it's
It's
you guys
better if
do
we
more
murder
good than
people if
bad.
we don't murder people? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, no, but she like you can tell like she's like visibly getting red because she doesn't really know how to properly respond. So somebody else answer this question because
I lean over to Ono and just be like, we should keep an eye on her. She might try and murder us in our sleep. And I don't try and be like very quiet with that. Okay, I want her to
I don't think she'd try to murder us. But now that you've put
You're
that
right.
thought in my mind, he looks over to her with like a comical skepticism.
Yeah, you're right. She wouldn't try. She'd succeed at murdering us in the middle of the night.
Her face, which has at this point gotten to like a really dark red, just out of sheer embarrassment. When you say succeed, she just like looks at you like, what? Sure.
You got killer eyes. You could kill a person. I believe in you.
You would hear Valine chime in. They're a very nice shade of blue. But I feel like I could probably kill you before you'd kill me, so please don't try. And Mitchell's like, I'm not trying to kill anybody! I would say Ibrin or Betoon. Actually, both. Since you're both kind of hanging out up there, listening and tuning into conversation. Both of you make another perception check as time passes.
Okay. Better than last time.
As the two of you kind of look out into the forest and continuing down the 10 trail at I would say after 10 or so minutes of conversation between the party, you would see what looked to be a rather recent set of tracks crossing over the 10 trail itself. As you either slow down, I mean, you're not really going that fast, but as you look it over as the caravan, the lightning tank, is kind of passing by, you would see there's two distinctive sets of tracks here. The first being a large herd of some breed of elk from up here in the north, and then on each side of the tracks of that, you would see what looked to be some form of humanoid footprints. Flat bottom shoes, not really distinguishable man or woman, but you would see probably no more than a half an hour after that, after the elk herd had passed through, that these appeared probably on the ground. They're a bit more fresh than the animal tracks.
Athros, another way that you could probably go about this situation. Do you have the ability to make people fall asleep again? Kind of like you did to me on the night, y'all set me up to die.
Was that when I just punched you?
No, that's when you casted a giant spell that
Oh.
nearly incapacitated me.
It was both, technically.
I mean,
If you want to be specific, because you're immune to sleep,
Yeah.
so it was just like, sleep, oh shit, sleep, and just big slap.
yeah. I mean, I can use the spell. It just won't work. I can almost guarantee it. It's not that good.
Hmm.
It's good against people with low health.
Gotcha. Just trying to think of a non-murderous way, I guess.
I mean, we could try talking to the camp, the people, and maybe see if they'll let us enter their encampment, maybe. The problem we might face with this is communicating right now. The problem we might face there is if Hedrun has already infiltrated the encampment, we don't know if that makes the druids allies of hers or allies of Zienna or anything along those lines. This is all kind of gray right now, but it might be a non-violent start. I don't know, I'm just spitballing here.
And
No
we do
offense,
have two
Spit.
polar bears as friends. So if they see us with like polar bear friends, they're like, "Oh, you guys are cool with animals, so you're cool, right?"
That might be a good point.
Yeah, we're friends with nature.
I could always just try talking to people telepathically and acting as like a deity or something. And pry information out that way, maybe.
You could. That might not end too well.
No, if we do it from a
find
distance,
out.
they don't see us. We just have to wait.
Yeah, but what deity would you want to represent? I mean, I'm not religious and all, but I don't think that, like, druids and such really follow one specific deity. I think it's regional based. Maybe I'm wrong. Some nomadic druids will follow whatever.
Well, maybe versus a deity, then we just say we're like investigators assisting the plane guard or something like that.
Say you're like a squirrel and you're curious, and yeah, they won't question an animal like a squirrel, especially if it's communicating telepathically. Nothing suspicious about that.
True.
I mean, Arini would like look to the group. I could maybe, if we found like a small animal or something, I could talk to it and see if it could just like vouch for us to the druids that were cool. But I guess that would be defeated by the fact that we have polar bears that could just do the same thing.
I was about to say, yeah. I'm looking at the polar bears like, how small is small to you? And I look at Ugg and Tug and I'm like, they're far away. They look small right now.
They do look small right now. Huh, funny how this viewpoint makes them look small. You would see like Ono like trying to like look exactly where you're at, maybe go up on his stilts for a second. That's really weird.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I'm just saying. I'm not really sure how I wanna go about it. Like we could just try to kidnap her in the middle of the night when their fire goes down, just try to take her and run.
We could do that. Ebron's pretty sneaky.
He is very
run
sneaky.
fast.
Be extra sneaky. Yeah.
I mean, she should be pretty distinguishable. Ono would chime in. We got a woman with black and white hair. I mean, other than that, she probably looks like a lot of the other people. Maybe more elven. Does she look like you otherwise? And she would like look to Matra. Yeah, we have a very similar set of characteristics, I guess. You know, we're all elves. We all have palish skin. She just has different hair, bit taller than me. Like rattles off like a physical appearance of Zienna.
Yeah.
Doesn't wear anything metal. I mean, she's a druid lady, so she only wears furs. And she always looks angry. She has a bad case of resting bitch face. And she would like cover her mouth after she like curses.
Look to see if anyone's wearing metal. Then that would be what's her name? Evil lady.
Hedrun?
Hedrun. Yeah. Like if there's someone wearing metal, they're not a druid, right?
I mean,
so if anyone is wearing metal, we just assume they're bad and kill them, right?
like Arini would look at Bigtoon. Well, by that logic, though, then Bigtoon or you could be bad, and we should just kill each other. If they're wearing metal, then that means they're bad. But last time I thought when you guys encountered the Hedrun lady.
Yeah.
When
but
you
like
guys
other druid people.
Ono would speak. Well, when we were frozen up on top of Kelvin's cairn, remember we looked at Hedrun and she wasn't wearing anything metal because she's a druid too.
Oh.
But she's taken over Atina's body. But even then, he like starts rattling off like, Atina didn't wear anything metal either when she was with us, because she was a cleric, but she was a different cleric. She's a cleric of Oral, and she didn't wear anything that was like cleric-y garbs. She wore like robes and like fur. So I don't know if the fur thing's gonna help. What was that?
Is there a chance she just looks like Atina? Like, why would she try and disguise herself to look like someone else in the Druid Encampment? If she is in Atina's body. Or whatever.
You would, at least in the vision you had, you would know that she definitely had the appearance of Atina when she was in the encampment. Like, she was posing as Atina in the encampment to interact with Zienna. And they were hanging out on a log together or something.
Well, I guess that settles it. Yeah, look for Atina.
So yeah, if we go into the encampment and things go bad, look for Atina and smash her to bits. And I feel like Matro would just like cringe at just hearing those words in the same sentence. But if we infiltrate secretly and try to steal Zienna, then do we also want to try and smash Atina too? Or are we just trying to get Zienna and leave? Because then she can't do her ritual. But what does that mean long term?
Like, don't we just want to kill her eventually? Like, she needs to go.
That's true. We could just try to smash her in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
But then the question that we got to think of too is, does she sleep? Because she's like an undead lady. Does your skeleton
Probably
sleep?
Not. Oh no, he never sleeps. He's always watching you.
You just hear the skeleton.
And he is definitely watching her right now. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. I feel like he's starting to smell a little bit.
Well, you can clean him then. I think he smells great.
I don't want to do that. He smells lovely, like a batch of daisies.
Wait, really?
Yeah. I feel like at this point, Ono would just use prestidigitation.
Probably. Okay, fine. He's just like,
yeah, OCD about Queenie.
He 100% is.
Yeah, so we go in. If we see Matra's sister, we kill her. And if we see Matra's other sister, we kidnap her. Sounds like a plan. Just don't forget which sister's which.
Yeah, don't get them mixed up. That's a very important detail. Although, if we kidnap, if you kidnap Hedrun, who is looking like Atina, and I mean, you guys would probably end up fighting her, which means that you might be able to stop her then and there. I mean, I just don't kill Zienna. Matro would just like, just really frustrated, unsure of what to do. Just don't kill Zienna.
Why?
Why? Yeah, I thought you said you weren't on speaking terms anymore.
Doesn't mean I don't care about her.
I mean,
aren't you on speaking terms with your family? What would happen
No.
if you weren't on speak? Oh.
Yeah.
I hope she didn't direct that anywhere near me.
Yeah.
No, it was definitely Athros, but I realized that it could definitely be interpreted any number of ways.
Yeah.
I feel like at that moment,
that are still around.
My eyes narrowed.
I feel like at that moment, Big Tune and I would look at each other and be like, "Did she really just say that?"
I just tell her to watch your words.
Okay. Sorry.
I think we might need to kill a different sister.
This one?
You know.
Just kidding. Where am I?
Made my hair stand on end there, Big Tune. Made my hair stand on end.
If I wanted to do it, I would have already done it.
I did see him standing over you the other night, licking his chops. He was gonna eat you.
She was sleeping with a glass of milk. Okay.
It's a nice warm treat in the middle of the night. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Aethros
I'll-
melting
I'll
all
share
the time.
some
He had a
next
glass of
time.
milk before. Yeah.
That's the
I
only
did
reason
finish those
promise
lactose
this
tablets.
time.
You could have one. Oh no, would chime in. I did finish those now. You should be okay.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
At this point,
I
I
don't
take out a
trust-
glass
Kitty.
of milk.
I don't trust your.
Drinking it.
I don't trust medicine.
But I made it. Especially for you, Kitty.
Uh-huh.
It's none of that store-bought stuff that looks like it was made from dirt. This is me we're talking about.
We'll see.
Your bestest little pal who sleeps in your dresser drawer. And Spit would be like,
Well-
"That's not me."
We'll see. We'll see. Next time, ask me again, and I might change my mind.
Okay. Okay,
Anyway,
so
let's.
plan A is what? Are we kidnapping, or are we trying to go inside, or are we just going in guns a blazing and just gonna wipe them off the map? I could start a fire. We could start trees on fire here. I don't really like starting things on fire, but I could do it. Oh no, it'll just be like spitfiring. No pun intended.
I mean, I'm cool with just about any of it.
I don't know if we want to start off with another fight, but
Yeah, I mean, as long as we sleep in between, I'm cool.
yeah, but we don't have a lot of time. That's the issue.
That's fair.
So
I guess sneak in it is, by the sounds of it.
do some of us try and sneak in, or one of us tries to sneak in, while the rest of us try and talk our way in, and then that way we can fail twice.
You know what they say, 2 is better than 1.
Yeah.
Hold on. Irini would chime in for a moment. If we see one of the druids, just if we could isolate one of them, I can disguise myself. Maybe we could pretend that I'm one of them and vouch for you to get in, and then we don't have to worry about trying to talk, or at least it'd make maybe talking to get in easier. Or
Or even if we really wanted to, even if we can't find one, you could just disguise yourself as a newcomer. Just like, hey, I'm here. I was hoping to join you guys. I heard you guys were cool and like stinky or whatever. Druids
Yeah,
find
just go ride in on one of the polar bears.
oh, wouldn't that be
Or
an
she-
entrance?
Or she
like,
could
Irini's,
disguise
like,
herself
facing
as a
lights
polar
up.
bear.
I don't know if I could do that as nice as anyway. I think I would need like a polar bear's pelt to really make it believable. And like Ugg and Tug would just like stop moving and just like look up, and like just like the sound of that was enough to just like trigger some form of response. Not you guys. Don't worry. I'm not gonna do anything to you, Ugg and Tug. You've been through enough trauma lately.
But your cousins, I mean, We're gonna
Anything
want
else
to
is fair
bitch.
game.
yeah.
But I don't. The point is, I don't know if I could disguise myself as a polar bear, and if I did, what are the chances that they wouldn't try to kill me for food, or something? I don't know.
All druids like love animals or some shit.
Maybe they'll love to eat them too.
Fair. I mean, I
It
do
could
like
be.
eating animals.
They are tasty.
Am I a
look back
druid?
over at Ugg and Tug. Wait. What
I
if
like
they see
eating
you
animals.
And like you look like a cat. What would they think of you?
Guys, can you please? I don't know what that is.
It's you, but not you. You know?
I'm
I
They're
don't
not
know
a
how else
cat.
to
I'm
explain.
Big Toon.
You're a big cat.
Irini,
I know. Big Toon is my name.
Irini would take a moment and she would like pull out a piece of fleece and conjure a illusory image of like a tabby cat, just like in front of her. This is a cat, Big Tune.
My hackles raise immediately.
It's not real. It's not real. It's a smaller version of you, but it walks on 4 legs instead of 2 legs.
That sounds lame.
Just as much of an asshole. Just loves milk just as much.
As long as it's still there, you hear like the moaning. I think I'm doing it involuntarily too. I have no idea.
Just
even making those noises.
Big Tune, I've never heard you make that noise before.
Your back is all hunched.
Yeah.
Claws like fully like extended. And she would like after seeing this like instant response out of you, just like dispel the image once again. Well, that was weird. Note to self: don't do that.
That's Big Tune right now.
Yeah.
It's on 2 legs. It's like.
Literally
100%.
though.
Claws out.
Well, I'm like, oh no. Speaking once again, I'm okay with us. I think both plans are great. I think if we try to nice our way in, it would cause less problems than if we tried to kidnap them. But at the same time, if we kidnapped Zienna and tried to deal with Hedrun secretly, maybe that would be a good thing too. I don't know. I'm okay either way. If we wanna vote as a group, I will voice my preference.
If we really want to, I pull out a coin, flip a coin for it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I do think that most other people up here are not as murderous as us, so they won't just kill us on sight.
Right.
I would imagine probably not.
We should be able to at least up to him, see if we could talk our way in, and if we can't, then sneak in.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, as long as we don't raise too much concern, as long as we just try to be like, hey, can we stay with you for a little while? And not be like, we need this person. I think we'll be alright.
Although then Hedrun would see us know we're there, and then she'd probably make her move and leave as soon as possible.
But like, you know what I mean? As long as we don't raise concern, even if we don't get to talk our way in, we can just sneak our way in. They won't necessarily be expecting.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna try and talk our way in, and if that fails, we're gonna sneak. Is that kind of what I heard?
Sounds like it.
Okay. Then I have a feeling we need to follow these prints that are heading off into the forest there. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably heading in the camp's direction, but you might know more than me, Kitty and Ebrin. You guys kind of saw them a bit more clearly. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense, wouldn't it?
Survival check to see if I can tell what were those.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100% if you want to make survival checks.
Give myself guidance.
Okay. Big Tune, if you want guidance, oh no, we give it to you too.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it actually went. Hold on.
That's weird. Because I didn't show up on my end either.
Yep, didn't go a second time either.
What the
alright.
hell's going on?
Well, mine worked.
Normal survival check without any modifier? Nope.
I see your die.
Yeah, I see it too. You had an 11 on the die for that one. Could you try reloading Foundry?
Okay. Is this one Athros finds out he's actually dead?
Yeah.
And he didn't get the hammer, and he's just imagining all this?
No,
This whole,
no, you know
whole
what
campaign
it is?
was a dream.
No, you know what it is? He traded places with the hammer. Now he's in the mirror dimension. And we're just actually seeing a incorporeal version of him.
Yeah.
Either way, I got a nice fat one, if you saw it.
I did see that.
I'll take that.
I want to see if this fixes Athros' thing. If not, then
Yeah, no, that's fine. I was
Yep. Now I see it.
just making sure that.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, we know what
beautiful.
we're doing.
Yeah, based on looking at the footprints, both animal and human, you can tell that it almost feels like, based off of how the footprints are moving, that they almost seem to be like guiding the herd in the direction that they're traveling. It doesn't seem like they're tailing too far behind. It seems like they're trying to force them that direction, which would mean most likely that the camp is in that direction. So
Yeah.
they crossed the path from left to right, so it'd be heading deeper into the forest on the right. It'd be heading the direction of Sunblight Fortress, I guess. Like, you're nowhere near it, but that'd be the direction it'd be heading. So
Right, like the cardinal direction.
Yeah.
Yee.
All right. Let's head that way.
Yeah.
Okay. Ebrin, I would like for you, if you're still hanging out with Spit, to make a animal handling check for me with advantage.
Handle those animals.
Beautiful. The one die was kinked on my end, so I was like, "Oh God, is it gonna work?" Because it looked like it was either like a 2 or the 9. So no, 19, perfectly fine. You are able to guide Ugg and Tug to venture into the forest. While venturing through the forest, you won't have access to the uppermost layer of the lightning tank, just because the tree line tends to sway like super low. At that point, so like you'd have access to like the area where like you're driving, but you won't have access to like the lookout tower section of it.
It's like being on top of a train in a movie, but going through a tunnel.
Yeah. As you venture into the forest, following alongside these sets of tracks as best as you can, you would follow these tracks into the forest because of how slow the tank moves and like the thickness of the snow that you're now going to be traveling through compared to the beat down path that is the tent trail. You'll follow them for about an hour, venturing into the forest, and you would see that the path that the elk lay widens out quite a bit more, as if the herd itself disperses. You would see that the human tracks head either continuing straight or venturing to the right as the herd tends to span, leaving you with essentially a fork in the road for which way you want to follow. You could just follow down the elk's path if you wanted to, and that would just be dead center, heading down the middle, or you could venture following one set of the human tracks. It's your choice.
We want to follow the elk or the humans.
I mean,
We're trying to
feel
kidnap
like-
the humans, so I feel like follow the humans.
right, and I mean, it feels like they couldn't be too far off from each other, right?
Mm-hmm. You would think.
So I mean, I feel like no matter which one we follow, we should be okay. But I think to be safe, human would be.
Okay. I would steer Ugg and Tug towards the human trail.
Okay.
And I would like to put it out there before we continue. I would like to try to keep my eye out for like any traps or, anything like that, any dangers.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing nothing. So can we say I'm taking a short rest?
Yeah, I would allow a short rest. I think that'd be acceptable. Anybody who isn't keeping their eye out, so... Well, I think the only person who actually spent spells was probably you. Or like your stuff. But anybody who needs to...
back.
Yeah. If you rotated who was keeping an eye out, or if Big Two wanted to keep just an eye out solely the whole time, whoever isn't keeping lookout would be able to take a short rest if they need it.
I mean, if somebody else would want to take over, I would not be against being able to take a short rest as well.
That's fair.
I mean, I'm driving, so I'm technically looking out.
And you got.
I mean,
you.
I would allow it. You're keeping an eye out. The tank isn't moving fast enough that you would have any form of I would say you'd be able to multitask, given how slow you guys are moving through the snow right now.
Do you want me to make like a check for any of that, by the way?
It would be a... If we're keeping a... I would say it would be a perception check. Are you... I don't know if there's actually a specific check in 5e for, like, locating traps. I think it might just be whatever we make of it, unless... Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, investigation maybe?
I would say you could do either one. Whatever one is better for you. Investigation or perception. One's just a little more intensive than the other, in my opinion.
Right.
You want to assist me and I can investigate? Can you do that?
He could. That would give you advantage on the roll.
You want to
Yeah,
do that,
that's
Nick?
The two of you just
What's
put
your
your
bonus
minds
for?
together.
+8.
Oh, fuck yeah. I mean, I get a +4 to a... Jesus Christ.
Damn, double fives.
Yeah, that's... hurt.
As
Yeah.
you... Following the set of human tracks, and choosing to follow the ones that more closely follow the elk themselves, the other set that was like guiding the elk seems to venture off a little wider away, so you follow the one that's closer. You would see that the human tracks seem to avoid specific areas of trees as you're kind of watching them alongside the tank, the two of you. And I would say as you continue to travel, pushing about another half an hour into the forest, you would successfully yet narrowly avoid 3 different sets of traps that we found. One of which was like, a standard rope trap to catch a small animal. One seemed to be some form of brush covering that had partially collapsed in, which is why you saw it, due to the snowfall. And then the other one, it seemed to be some form of almost like a tripwire, which you could tell at one point had successfully taken down one of the elk in the group, but it had gotten back up and continued to run, based off of the tracks that you can kind of see. So you would have avoided 3 different traps. As you go, I would say Big Tune, you would be able to take your short rest if you would like to, as the two of you kind of work together, was less strain on you.
I don't even know if it really gave me anything back necessarily, but...
Your action surge, I believe, recovers on a short rest.
Yes, it does.
I don't know
Sweet.
if anything else does, though, for you. But that's
Maybe
still that's a
second
huge
wind.
buff, so...
Yeah, it's second wind as well, so that's nice.
Ooh, yeah, that's good. As that last half hour passes, you would begin to see rising up into the air, just off enough in the distance where it's at the edge of your vision, this snowstorm that was mentioned earlier, starting to kind of fall in a little bit more. It's not blinding by any means. You're still able to kind of see where you're going. The thickness of the trees is able to block out a lot of it right now. You would see that in openings of the trees, Ebrin, as you guys are venturing forward, a couple different smoke, like streams of smoke, kind of rise up into the air. You look a little closer, farther off into the distance, this time looking through the trees as best you can, and you would see deep in the distance, probably, I would say 200 to 300 feet out, you would see what looks to be a shimmering, like a orangish yellow light, which you would recognize as that of probably some form of campfire. Looking around, you see the light itself of that fire. You can kind of make out the silhouettes of some different structures, like tents that seem to have been propped up for this encampment. Right now, at this moment, though, from this distance, it's hard to make out figures at that camp. It's pushing your vision that you can see just to see what you can right now, given the depth of this forest and the and just overall your field of vision. You would have to venture closer to look for people, but you can tell that you're really close to the camp.
I would probably start slowing down Ugg and Tug and let everybody know, hey, we're about to pull up on these people. We should probably stop a little short
Our
and
swords? What? I mean,
stop
We should
short.
probably
and-
get on the ballista that's on top of the lightning tank.
yeah.
I was thinking the same
And be
thing. If
menacing.
one of us can just see her, we could just put a ballista through her chest and boom.
Just make sure you hit the right sister.
Put my hands
Well, if
around
I
my
get
eyes
hit
trying to make
both, we
binoculars.
solve the problem
Oh, yeah.
completely.
No, here, Kitty, this might help you better. And he would, like, Ono would, like, pull out from his pack, like, 2 small glass, like, containers that had milk previously. Here you go. Here you go.
I don't see shit. It all looks milky.
Oh, these are the ones that aren't clean. Let me get you some clean ones. And he would, like, pull out 2 other ones, and then he'd, like, look at them and be like, it's all the same. Never mind, I'm sorry.
Don't we have that decanter of endless liquid or whatever? Like milk in it.
That's a
Well, at least
great...
you can drink all of it.
I can gas out the entire encampment.
Yeah.
Something tells me it won't just be gas, but I appreciate your enthusiasm. It's like a rendition of color spray, but
All right.
not.
I
There's
once heard of
colors.
this great.
Just one.
I once heard of this great artist, Jackson Pollock.
Yeah.
I mean, do you want to...
Yeah, I feel like we should probably hop off and maybe in a small group try to approach, so as to not seem so threatening. Or
We could do that.
you guys keep saying I look like some sort of animal, so
I mean,
Hedrun, go up there and start meowing. They'll let you in.
do you know how to purr? Can you purr? Can you purr, kitty?
I don't. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe it's one of those things that we haven't discovered about you yet. I didn't know you would do what you did when you saw the image of the cat. There's a lot of mysteries about you, kitty.
Sure, if you say so. I don't know what you're talking about, so. I mean, it's worth a shot. Maybe you can try to trigger some sort of reaction out of me. I don't know.
So the party right now consists of the 6 of you, the undead sheriff, Valine, and Matra. If you're going in a smaller party, who would you like to be in your party? Hypothetically, like, you don't necessarily to talk to the druids, you don't necessarily need Matra to be with you. I can guarantee that Valine will probably remain in the lightning tank, as it does not pertain to her. She's just there with you until you guys actually go off on her quest. So that would leave it with the 6 of you plus Matra and Spit. How do you wanna pursue?
Realistically, if we want to do a smaller group, I would suggest myself, Matra, and either Aethros or Bictun come with us. I can telepathically link all of us together and kind of make sure everybody's on the same page. And if anything goes wrong, the second wave of people can be right behind us.
I'm fine with being in wave 2.
Ono would look to you, Ibrin. Why didn't you say that mirrors could be part of the first group, huh? Do you not think that tieflings could be druids too?
I was more or less just wanting somebody who's, strong.
Ah, okay.
Have you seen the guns on yours?
Yeah. I've seen him wield a dagger. He wields it real good.
I bet he's stronger than you.
Probably.
The lack of reaction would sort of dishearten Ono, hoping for a rise. Probably stronger than you. Yeah, probably. Just nonchalant. Okay.
You can have strength. I'll take my stealth. I tend to appear wherever I want to.
Okay. You got reasoning behind your choices. I just wanted to make sure we weren't discriminating against our friend here, Miras. We can bring up the second squad. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Okay.
Kitty or Athros? You want to come with Matra and myself? Or one of you?
I don't care.
Bigton can go.
Sure.
Stick with the skeleton.
What's the code word if things go bad?
Hippopotamus.
Ooh,
Yeah, do you
I
not
like
know
it.
us at all?
That's a fair point. I should have known that one. Matra would
Wait,
look to
what
like
if
Ebrin and Big Two and be like, "Well, I don't remember that part, so hippopotamus it is, I guess."
Yeah.
What if one of them's actually a hippopotamus, or there's a hippopotamus in their group?
Then it'll be a distraction.
And then you're like,
Look.
holy crap, it's an actual hippopotamus. And then we're like, oh, hippopotamus, we're gonna go.
Well, I've got to
what'll end
say
up
it
happening-
telepathically to you, so as long as I don't do that part, I think we're fine.
Okay. But to answer the question, if they actually had a GIF, one of those hippo people, as part of their group, I think they'd react with, if someone said hippopotamus, they would just look to Bigton and be like, "Oh, look, a cat." Like
You're
a
right.
like a
Yeah.
rebuttal.
Sure, if we're all telling lies or saying shit that nobody understands, then sure.
I'm just saying. I think that's how they'd react. But that's not the point. We can have that conversation at dinner once we have done what we need to do here. You guys do what you gotta do, and we will wait for your signal. We'll probably just be a little farther away, but we will be there if things hit the fan.
All right.
And if
So-
I hear screams, I'll just assume that they are trying to eat you.
Or Big Two and I have killed the entire village. One of the two.
Okay. We will await your call, oh telepathic one. That's you, Ebrin. Matra would be like, "Yay." You can tell she's very nervous.
You're going to meet your
So-
sister, aren't you so happy?
Right?
Yeah.
Would
I
it
thought you
be
said you didn't want us to kill her, and now you're like, you don't want to meet her. What's up?
It's just that we just haven't had a nice talk in a long time, and I'm just a little worried about how things are now. That's that's all.
Don't forget, you might have to stab your other sister, who's really some undead demigod god creature.
I haven't quite
Oh,
figured out
yeah.
how I feel about that, especially if she looks like my sister, and not the horned druid looking lady that she was the first time I saw her.
Stab her with the pointing end of your dagger, just over and over again. That's all it is.
Okay, just pointy end stab, and she would just like repeat that, like as she like starts walking away with like the rest of with Big Tune and Ebron. Just pointy end stab, just pointy end stab.
So for me to link everybody, do I use 2 die or 3 die?
It depends on if you want to include people such as Spit and Valine. I believe because how many people can you link at once? Is it 3? Because it's your proficiency modifier, right?
Yeah.
Then it
So
would
it'd be 3.
Or is it? It's yourself and 3 others, I think. Let me take a look at it again because I don't remember. It's been a little while.
You also
since
only
we've
need
used
to do
it.
one person in the group that's staying back. They can just let everyone out. Go time.
True.
Unless you choose the wrong person, they just decide, you know what, we're gonna go in regardless. Have some fun.
I would expend 2 die. Try to do a conference because I'd want us 3, Big Tune, Matra, myself, and then I'd want Athros, Ono, and then Arini. I could just do it that way.
So the 6 or was it 7?
6.
If it was 6, then you would need to spend 2 die.
Usability. R slash. What are we doing slash R? 1d8 now? Is it d8 or d6?
5th level, it is. So your psionic energy die is a D8 now.
We could talk
You
for
gotta-
5 hours.
5 hours of mental conversation.
That's what you need to keep in mind, John, is that psi bolstered knack.
Yeah, I just realized that with my investigation.
It is like the greatest ability,
Yeah.
especially with the D8 now.
Right.
And I do have a few things I'm proficient in. Yeah.
Ooh, actually, you only need to spend 1 because the first time you use it after a long rest, you don't spend your first die. So I can give you back 1. There you go.
Even better.
Okay, so the 3 of you are headed to the Druid camp. The B team, I'm just going to call you the A team and the B team. It's not based off of ability. It is just because of numerics, which is Alliance alphabet, and your positioning and your, yeah. Anyway, A team heads off to the Druid Encampment. B team hangs out behind at the lightning tank in some fashion. A team, as you approach the, I would say you get rather close to the encampment, probably within about between 100 feet and 100 to 75 feet of the encampment before you would meet, honestly, your first the first druid that you would see, and they would upon seeing you approach.
Before we would get close enough, I would put Victune and myself in front of Matra, and I would tell her, keep your hood up, keep your head down, stay behind us. I kind of want to use you when we get close to your sister. In the meantime, I want to kind of make it look like we're your protection, essentially.
You're my bodyguards. Pointy end stab. Pointy end stab. And she just is continuing to reiterate that. It's like a mantra to her right now to try to level her head a little bit. Pointy end stab. You're my bodyguards. Okay. And she just pulls her hood up and makes herself kind of feel almost as small as possible. Ooh, I have an idea. Do you need me for talking to the druids, or do you just need me to talk to my sister?
We're gonna have to play that by ear. Hopefully, just your sister, but
as you're walking, so it'd be your conversation leading up to where you're going. Because I can do this thing, and she just you see her close her eyes, and there's a puff of smoke, and you watch as she instead of her being in her position, there is a small vial, maybe about 2 inches long, that just lands in the snow, and then a couple seconds later she pops back out. It's a thing. It's a gift that I got from the being that gave me my power. I don't use it a lot, but it comes in handy sometimes. So if you don't want me to be seen, I could just hide in that until you're ready for me. I can still hear things that go on outside. I just can't interact while I'm hiding inside my little vial thing.
how long can you hold that form for?
A couple hours.
I'd kind of give Victune the side eye, what do you think?
I mean, that sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah, if you want to do that, I can put you around my neck or in my pocket or something.
Just as long as I can hear what you need me to do when we get that far, that's all I need, wherever you feel would be best. Like I said, I can hear what goes on out here, so it'd be okay.
Do you just change back by yourself, or do we
Oh, I can. If whenever you're ready for me, I can come back out.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't we had to throw you down on the ground and break the vial and.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Okay, yeah, no, that's why I asked. Because that would have been my first thought.
That's fair. I could see where you would come to that conclusion. No, I can come out whenever you're ready for me, and I can hide until then. I just forgot I had that power because it really doesn't come out I don't need it very often. So I apologize.
Yeah, if you
Pointing and
wanna,
stab.
No, that's fine. I mean,
if you wanna do that, I can put you in my pocket.
Okay. And she like doesn't even wait for a second wave of approval and just like into a puff of smoke and a small vial would appear you'd be able to like catch before it hits the ground.
I kind of put it in like my left breast pocket on my coat and be like, all right, well, let's continue walking, see how this goes. In the meantime, kid, just take a breath, relax, do the best that we can.
As
just
you
remember, stab.
there would be no response from the vial, but you can tell as she heard you. You feel very confident in that. As
Does the telepathic power still work when she's in the vial form?
ooh, that's a good point. If you were talking telepathically, because she was one of them that was linked, right? I'm not crazy about that.
Yes, she was linked.
Okay, then she would be able to respond to you with just point and stab.
Point and stab.
Point and stab. As you would begin your or continue your approach to the Druid Encampment, you would see again about 75, 100 to 75 feet out from the encampment that there's someone like kind of patrolling the outside of the tents that are nearby. You would see as you're kind of approaching too that the elk tracks that you had like been following this whole time, they seem to split off and curve around the actual encampment itself. And you can kind of hear off in the distance that there is a decent number of elk like stomping around in the snow. You can't see them from where you're at, but you can tell that you're nearby. It'd be like as if you're laying down for the night and you hear like wild animals walking around you, like in a tent. But you can't see them, but you can hear them. So you feel very confident that they're here somewhere. As the druid who sees you approach, they don't seem to have any malicious intent. You see that they like they've kind of been in a serious mentality doing their patrol. As they see you approach, they approach you instead of like allowing you to continue going farther. They would get within probably 20 feet of you and kind of put their hand up for you to stop. Travelers,
Stop.
who are you and why have you found our current encampment?
We followed some tracks and we were just kind of like following them to see what was going on. We weren't mean any harm.
The tracks themselves are that of the elk that we have been tracking up to this point. It has led you here. You have your answer. I do suggest, please, to turn around and return the direction that you have come from.
I mean, this weather is getting pretty gnarly. We might just be able to like, maybe not. I mean, like we were ideally hoping we could like stay with you in the camp for a little while until maybe it blows over a little bit, but like otherwise at least adjacent. So that way, like, you know, I mean, in case something goes wrong, you know, we could hypothetically help each other.
Make a persuasion check.
Pardon me. Persuasion.
Damn. As the druid looks at you, Big Toon, I know I had you make a persuasion check. I want you to make a perception check too. As you get I say both of you, Ebron and Big Toon, make a perception check.
Much better.
You see that the race of this druid is that of a tabaxi.
I was thinking that too.
Another
That's like,
another cat-like individual. While they don't seem to recognize you, I believe honestly, if I'm not mistaken, I think you have an ability that I gave you that would allow you to do things with
Shit.
tabaxis, if I'm not mistaken.
Here's the
Maybe I'm
problem.
wrong.
No,
Oh, no.
you're right. You're 100% right. I just can't use it right now.
Oh,
I used it during the fight, and I needed a long rest. Unless...
oh shit, you're right.
oh, wait. Unless, no, wait. Is that
Wait.
just for the fight? The way you have it written down, it looks like...
Oh wait, no, nope, I wrote that wrong for you.
Okay.
The one with the catkin is not
Mhm.
one you spend hit dice on. I
Okay.
gave it to you both, so you actually that would be a passive effect. Most of your effects that you have should have a passive and an active, or if
Okay.
it's an active, there's like if it's only an active, there's other things, there's other reasons for that. Usually it's because it's out of combat usage more than in combat. But this
Right.
one is this one shouldn't be a hit dice feature. This one's a passive one that you
Okay.
have.
So I'd be able to
So
do such.
I'm gonna just make a quick change on this quick.
Yeah.
Gotta make an edit.
I was like, I was excited when I thought about that right before you said it, and I was like, oh man, maybe with it being a druid, I mean, you could even just be in cat form, and that might be enough. But even better that he's just straight up tabaxi.
Alright. Yeah, so instead of it being an active ability, you have any charisma checks made with catkin you make with advantage.
That's what it says, yeah. And I can.
Yep, and you can cast speak with animals. So so yeah, you technically could roll your persuasion with advantage.
Okay, I'll just roll it again then, straight, obviously.
Right. That is
Better.
significantly better. As he looks the two of you over, seeing you as not recognizing you or like the strong shield crest that you have like adorned somewhere on like your person, like I think it's on your sword because you have different armor now. Not recognizing any of that, they would look you over. They would look at Ibrin, and then they look back to you. Is it just the two of you? Or are there more that need shelter for the evening? You're not wrong. The storm is getting more intense. I worry that it might become a full-on blizzard over the course of the next day.
Yeah. I guess I would psychically ask Ibrin how he wants to proceed with that.
I would say out loud.
Zeal?
We have others with us.
Okay.
We have a party behind us as well with a caravan and 2 steeds to help us pull our carts along. They're waiting back there for us for some communication to make sure it's safe or if we are in danger, essentially. Didn't want to approach with an overwhelming force or anything like that as well, with just yourself being out here. Didn't want to seem unforthright or intimidating.
Well, please know that is appreciated. I will have to speak with Chief Taruk, the leader of our tribe of druids, but I feel quite confident that he will be okay with this arrangement. I cannot promise it would be for more than the evening, though. And you would see, you would watch as the tabaxi like whistles, and a small bird, some form of songbird from the area, kind of comes down and like it lands on his arm, and you can see that he talks to the creature for a moment. Please, fetch Chief Taruk. And the bird flies off into the camp, out of direct eyesight, darting kind of between some of the tents. There would be maybe a minute or two of a a wait period before you would see this bit larger individual kind of coming out from behind some of the trees, adorning himself with some form of a headdress made out of like tree branches kind of woven together. This individual looks a lot more humanoid in nature, very tall, almost as if he's like, you can tell that he's not quite human. He's definitely much bigger in stature, but he's not like a half giant or anything like that. I would say,
to put it in reference, how's his height compared to us? Because I'm over 6 feet and Big Toon's near 7.
he's probably pushing 8.5.
Okay.
Very, very big guy. You would see that there are some like tattoos that are kind of emblazoned upon his face, kind of coming down over his eyes. Looking him up and down, you're not quite sure exactly what race he is. You feel as though someone like Miris or Ono might know a bit more because they're a bit more studied, but you have the aching suspicion that there's some form of a race that's specific to the northern areas of Vas'Kai. Just given how they're dressed, how they kind of present themselves, you don't remember seeing anyone like this in your travels previously, especially you, Big Toon, traveling around the lower areas of Vas'Kai in your clan. He looks down and like legitimately looks down at the two of you, some of the taller members of the group, and gives you just like a once over. You look at his eyes and you see that his eyes don't really have a lot of color to them. They're much more white than what you would have expected. He almost looks like he could be blind, but he looks you up and down, or at least looks in that general direction. These are the two that you had spoken about, Quell. Yes, Chief Taruk. They are looking to have shelter for their party. How many of you did you say there were? I don't know if you actually told me how many of you there were. You said that there were some of you who were waiting by your caravan and not trying to approach to be malicious. Right.
Well, there's us here, and then we have 5, 6 behind us.
We have the correct number of people.
I'm trying to assume that Matra is with the group behind us, although I know she's in our pocket right now.
Right.
I'm playing in my mind that she's behind, although that she's with us.
Right.
So
Yeah, I get you.
The 3, Matra, Spit, the 1 chick, and a dead guy. So,
Don't worry, the dead guy is safe. He's just an extra sword.
I wouldn't have said the dead guy out loud. I'm counting just out loud myself here. So there's us
Out of
2,
character.
and then there's 8 total behind us, along with our 2 polar bears.
That is quite a few mouths to feed. But I'm not
It
saying
is.
we don't have the resources.
Well,
we,
we don't need your food necessarily. We just wanted maybe some shelter from the wind and the snow.
And there's obviously strength in numbers. If anything were to happen, we'd be more than willing to lend a hand.
Yeah, we've had our fair share of kerfuffles
You
over
look
the
well
years.
traveled.
Yeah, my clan used to patrol the southern areas. We did our part to help try to make everything safer. So
You would see Chief Taruk look more directly at you, and the Tabaxi would as well. What clan are you from? What clan do you hail, young Leonin?
well,
Say it with
No.
pride.
nowadays I roll with the clan of the Broken, which is us you see in front of you. Because unfortunately, the rest of my clan, the Strong Shield clan, was slaughtered by the parties responsible for what's happening.
Strong Shield. This far north.
Yes, I've come to seek revenge on those who have murdered my entire pride.
I'd kind of put an arm on his shoulder, showing like compassion for my comrade.
You would see Chief Taruk with his absolutely massive hand. He would extend it outward, and I guess on the opposite shoulder of what what Ibrin is currently showing compassion on, you would see this massive hand kind of placed down on one of your shoulder pauldrons from your armor. If you are Strong Shield, then your group I find trustworthy enough. You and your traveling compatriots are welcome for the evening to partake in our shelter. The Strong Shields are a mighty, mighty clan, and never have done us wrong.
Do we have your word that everybody in the camp will follow the same beliefs, or whatever you may call it, that everybody will feel the same behind these?
For you to spend shelter within our camp, this I can assure you. You will be welcomed in for the evening.
I'm kind of
As
hoping.
far as internal, if there's other hostilities or mindset differences, I don't read the minds of my people, but should anyone have a disagreement about you spending your evening here, they will need to deal with me personally. And no one has yet to try and take the title which is mine.
Above table, that is exactly what I wanted to hear. Because now if any kerfuffle starts, there's a good chance that we won't have to fight the entire encampment.
When he says I can't read minds, I'd say telepathically, nope, that's my job.
Please.
Can you read minds, or can you just mentally talk to other minds? There's a difference. Aether is trying to be snarky.
Oh.
Oh, you would hear Ono chiming in telepathically. That does raise a good point. What am I thinking right now, Ibrin? And he just he quietly waits for a response.
How you can make the lightning tank lighter, put the polar bears into some sort of ball form to where they can go to sleep and come out whenever we want.
Aether chimes in. Wrong. He's thinking about how I'm the smartest person in the group. And I look over to him with a smile.
I feel he doesn't have to think that though.
I feel like I hung the fruit a little too low for both of you, because you're both right. That is not even fair. Never mind. Maybe you can read minds, Ibrin.
What am I thinking about? And I actively start thinking about something out loud in my head.
Milk. It's always going to be milk.
Son of a bitch. Okay, yeah, he can read mine, guys.
Yeah.
It's a good ability to have. So great. Yeah, you would see Taruk tells you all, gather those that you are wanting to bring to our encampment. Should you need food, we will provide, but for sure you will be welcome for shelter to weigh out the storm that's quickly approaching the area.
When he says gather your people, I'd say telepathically to everybody, hey, bring the tank up, everybody else come on up.
I definitely
I want it to be almost like where he's done talking and out of nowhere the group just starts being visible.
I do want to make a motion though, because I don't want to give away the fact that we can communicate telepathically.
That's fine. I'd be like, Big Toon, raise your hand, everybody else come on up.
Yeah.
Bring the tank.
Okay.
Yes.
Was spit part of the linkage, or no?
It was not, so I'd be
Okay.
like, oh no, you gotta tell Spit, bring the tank up.
No, I got this. I'll drive it.
as like Spit's getting ready to drive the tank, you would see Aether just like scoots him out of the way. No, I got this.
I don't think I've actually ever driven the lightning tank before.
I don't think you have.
No.
And you only minimally have to drive it like 200 feet. So
Okay, I'm gonna give myself guidance. I got this.
okay,
Animal handling.
yes.
Oh no, tell Spit to help him.
Ooh. You have a +5 for your proficiency in animal handling?
No, that's just my modifier. It's wisdom based. So I get +5
Oh,
from that.
no, shoot. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, with your
As you-
96,000 wisdom.
Have you that's crazy. Okay, as you've seen Spit and Ibrin and even like Arini do it like a bunch of times. So you like get yourself in position and you like whip the reins to like get them to start moving, and as if it's like almost second nature, as if it comes natural in a way, you're able to get Ugg and Tug to begin moving the lightning tank forward in the direction you're seeking to go, which would be towards the encampment, I would assume. As yeah.
So I would like to think, at least from my point of view, is like I tried to do it. Ugg and Tug look at me like you're stupid, but they know where they need to go and they just do everything. It's like I'm not really doing anything. I just think I am.
That makes sense for Aethros.
Yeah.
As the lightning tank itself would appear through the forest, approaching the Druid camp. You would see Chief Taruk and Quell, the Tabaxi, looking at this giant structure approaching and seeing the polar bears, and they I would assume, though I shouldn't assume things with Aethros, that you would have them come to a stop at a reasonable point at the camp, or would you just keep going?
Yeah, reasonable is like 2 feet behind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Like a large truck parking right up against the curb. You pull out really, really close to the encampment, and
screeching halt too, just.
100%.
Yeah.
As the Chief Taruk and Quell see this massive structure coming through. Chief Taruk in particular looks at Ugg and Tug, and he doesn't seem like in any way phased or worried, and he approaches them without any form of caution. I'm gonna say, just because Aethros is driving, it's gonna be Aethros, and I'm gonna have, oh no, roll a Arcana check.
Oh, excellent. That's a 15.
Okay, perfect. As you see Chief Taruk approach, you can tell that his calm demeanor approaching the polar bears for the first time ever, without any form of food, without any form of offering to them to kind of get on their good graces, you can tell that there has to be some form of magical component to that, that has some form of spell active as he approaches them, and his overwhelming stature, he's actually able to go down onto his knees into the snow and get down at like eye level with the polar bears. And while initially, right when the lightning tank comes to a halt, they seem for a moment hostile, that quickly vanishes as he gets down at their level and gives them what Ibrin and Arini have gotten accustomed to, a good set of scritches. And the two bears seem to be very content with his presence, but he didn't seem phased at all in the slightest as he approached. You can tell that there's some magic there, like he has either a speak with animals or like an animal friendship spell up.
So I don't know if Arini sees this, but I want to telepathically tell her, like, this guy's about to mess with our polar bears. You might want to intervene. He's trying to steal them from you.
Hearing that, Arini would come out to the driving area of the lightning tank, the cockpit, and would look down and see him giving them scritches, and she'd be like, "Who the heck do you think you are?" And Chief Taruk would look up at Irini, being very different in appearance to a lot of you. Be like, your group sure is an interesting bunch. A lot of different varieties of people. No complaints, no judgment. We are all wanderers here. I'm not here to hurt your bears, merely giving them appreciation for the work they've done this day. They deserve some attention. And with that, you would see, after he scritches them, pulling out from a very not great smelling bag, because it has, like, you can tell it has, like, raw meat inside. He'd pull out 2 small pieces of, like, elk venison that are raw, uncooked, that he would hand to each of the bears and kind of seal the deal on the positive interaction that he had with them. The bag itself, you could tell, like, it's really not supposed to be full of meat very often. Like, you could tell they probably just butchered an elk and he had some for, like, you know, animal purposes, for like interacting with anything, either to deter them from attacking the camp, or maybe like if there's other form of animals within the camp that you haven't seen yet. You're not quite sure, but it's like almost like a treat bag.
I would tell him as he's feeding them which one's which. This one's Ugg, this one's Tug.
It's a pleasure
Good
to
brothers.
make your acquaintance, Ugg and Tug. I can tell that you're well worked, well taken care of, and that says a lot about your group's character. But truly,
I want to bring out the skeleton then and show him off. And this is our skeleton. He's also a very good boy.
he would see the skeleton, he would look at you, he would look back at the skeleton, back to you. Interesting.
At the skeleton on the head, like, yeah, he's a really good boy.
I'm sure he is in his own right. But at the
You
same
gonna give him a
time,
treat too?
beings such as these sort of break the normal order of nature. I don't know how to feel about it. But he is yours, and as such, you will see no action from me to restore the balance. Not that in particular.
Everyone dies eventually.
Everyone does die eventually, but not everyone gets brought back as a skeleton.
I'm just using his corpse. He's a tool now.
To what-
Anywho, we can keep the skeleton here, and we can join you guys if that makes you feel more comfortable, Chief.
I think
What happens if you let that spell lapse?
Oh, he dead.
What? Yeah, I know, but I mean, would you be able to like redo it?
No.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you
no,
have
once-
to keep it.
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
Actually,
Okay, never mind.
if he isn't it fuck,
so.
does animate dead work where if you don't maintain control it dies, or if you don't maintain control it just becomes a loose zombie? Like, or zombie or skeleton, like a rogue skeleton or zombie. Now I gotta look it up.
Oh, it stopped obeying any command I've given it after 24 hours.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's a skeleton now until it's dead. It's just I have control over it for 24 hours, and then I can recast animate dead on it.
Gotcha. Okay. Perfect. So it might be loose for a day if you don't dispatch it, but you could hypothetically regain that control over it again. Okay, perfect. Now we know. Now we know how it works. Yeah, the chief would signal that it would be good to have all of you come to our the open area in the middle of camp. It'd be good to introduce you to the group so they can put either names to faces or at least recognize our new visitors for the evening. Whenever you feel comfortable, please make your way into our camp. If you are looking for me, well, to accommodate my size, my tent is in fact the largest one here. But make yourself at home for the evening.
Well, we appreciate the hospitality and the safety as well, and we will follow you to your encampment. Kind of gesture towards the group and be like, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. As we...
I want to be actively looking at everyone to see if anyone looks like Athena, though.
That's
As
fair.
we
Yeah,
go to the camp.
I want to hardcore either be looking or investigating. One of the two.
Okay. I'm gonna say, as the party's making their way into the encampment, you could do either one because you're... I would say, yeah, whatever you want to do, investigation or perception. I'll allow either one for this roll as well. I'm gotta go let my dog out, so I will be right back.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how he would react to seeing a skeleton.
Well, now we know.
Yeah.
I think as of right now, we're okay. I want to keep Mater in the vial as long as possible. Once we can kind of figure out where her sister is, if we can get to her alone and then pull Mater out, I think that could be a good opportunity to have everybody talk to get her out and away from her sister and maybe leave. If I could also get some assistance on my investigation, that'd be cool. It's my second
do my
highest. No, you're fine.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can have him give me advantage or something.
On what? On what?
Investigation. That's my second highest stat I have.
Yep, that would be a +0 for me. +4 on perception.
Plus
And
4
also
in
remember
perception.
you got your side bolster.
Yeah, I'm gonna bolster this no matter what. Unless it's like a 4, then I'm not gonna waste it. But if it's like a 18, 19, 20, I'm still gonna bolster it. Ooh.
So
I'm gonna see if he can have give me the advantage and guidance, and then still bolster it.
No, he can only do one.
Damn.
Yeah. But 2 people can assist you. One can give you assistance, one can give you guidance.
guidance, right?
Yeah.
Apparently they're at, where is this at? Looks like Mount Olympus, by the way. I just seen this. They are building what is going to be the world's tallest water slide. 145 feet tall. That
I'm
is
good.
horrifying.
Is it going to be one of those where it's on like a 4-person tube where one of us can stand off the scale to be under the weight limit when really we're like 150 pounds over, if not more?
Yeah, that was bad. Good times.
I'm glad
Yeah.
I didn't on that one.
I think the worst one was Time Warp, where we nearly flipped the thing.
Wasn't there also one where I didn't stand on the scale? Or no, that was one where like the kids didn't care.
Yeah.
I don't think they actually had a scale there, and he just looked at it. It's like, yeah, you're fine.
Yep.
Nearest or Ian, what's your best thing you can do right now? Like investigation, insight, perception. What's one of the best skills you have right now?
Would be probably deception.
Ooh.
Yeah, deception.
He's been using it this whole time too.
Right.
Yeah, so it's deception followed up by performance and persuasion.
That's actually good to know.
Okay, I am back.
All right.
All right, so those of you who are wanting to, you can make either a perception or an investigation check.
So with my check here, could I have Matra give me the advantage and Ono give me guidance?
Matra is currently inside her little capsule thing.
Could I
She did
have
not-
Miris give me the advantage?
How about Ono gives you guidance?
Okay.
Just because I want to see what. Jesus fuck.
It's not. I'm not done either.
So with your side bolster, I think it's reading through it. It's when your non-psionic training fails you.
Yeah, it looks like it has to be on a
Oh, is
fail.
it just fail?
So yeah, if you fail it, then you can use your side knife.
Dang. I thought I could just
So,
bolster.
I guess
All right, never
if
mind.
you-
I was gonna bolster for a 27. But I'll still take a 23.
Miris, did you want to make a investigation or perception check?
I'll go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay. Okay. So we got Athros, Ebrin, and Miris. Victim, did you want to make one as well? If not, you don't. I mean, I'm not forcing people to. You have the option to.
Sure, why not? Maybe. Perception. Oh, suck it.
For the sake of, I don't want to roll for them. We're just going to use your guys. I'm not going to roll for, because you already have one crit. I'm not really worried about otherwise. For Irini and Ono in this moment, they're a little preoccupied with the fact that they're in a druid camp. Okay, as you guys are making your way into the encampment, you realize this encampment's honestly pretty big. There's probably around, you estimate, I might be contradicting what I said last week. Probably between 50 and 75 people total in this this band of druids. Not all of them, you can tell, are druids. They seem to be a range of different types of people, and that kind of seem to serve some form of different role. Like, you can tell that there's like a shaman individual who seems to be in a smaller fire outside of their own tent. They throw a couple different sets of bones into the fire, and you see that there's like two other people with them that seem to be waiting for the result. And then as the fire crackles a certain way, he does this little dance around the fire, and then kind of tells the other two individuals what the result was. And one of them seems to be rather excited, the other one seems to be kind of indifferent. Continuing into the camp itself, all of you, as hard as possible, are focused on trying to find this image of Atina. And the one person who don't actually think knows what the actual Atina looks like is Miris. Because I think Miris was after that, but that's okay. As you reach very close to the center of this camp, maybe 20 feet total, away, weaving through the trees, as you would be, you see sticking out of the what looks to be a silhouette, coming from a tent maybe about 30 feet away from you. All of you would see two individuals. You would see a woman with white and black hair wearing various furs on her body, and you would see a slightly shorter statured woman, both of them elven, with all white hair, that you would recognize as the image of Atina that you had come to know when she first joined your party. Since I do have art, I'm going to post an image of what Zienna looks like in campaign art. Jesus fuck, how long ago did I find this picture? Oh, come on.
Well, I guess as we would see them, I'd be like, well, we can see Atina, and I assume the one next to her would be Zienna.
Yep, resting bitch face checked out.
Big Tune, with your crit, you see something else that gives you a slight shudder. As looking out towards the edges of this camp, you see what looks to be a familiar set of spines peeking out over the snow as it weaves between sets of trees. You see a slightly familiar fog in the distance, and you get the feeling that the serpent that you guys had fought previously is very close by, lurking in the forest.
So, I imagine that like, just by the nature that I'm like a few feet closer to it, like it's on my edge of like our group circle, as it were.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. So I just like, I turn around and go, so don't want to alarm anybody, but that serpent that fucked us up is here. So thinking maybe we see, like, every part of me wants to say like, let's have everybody help us, but I have a feeling that's just gonna end up with a lot of dead people.
I mean, when we just killed Zienna right here, right now, so if she can't be used later.
My thought process is
friendly.
we need to get Zienna away from Atina for a little bit, so we could send somebody as a distraction to talk to Atina that hasn't talked to her before, which would be Miris. I could link with Zienna and say that there is somebody here at the encampment that would like to talk to her if she could come alone to this one tent. It's about her sister, Matra. Hopefully that would draw her out enough to talk to her alone about that. I'm saying all this telepathically, by the way.
I figured.
Right. Would Matra have any response to that?
There'd be a slight awkward silence, but
Okay.
you would hear her chime in. I can certainly try. Point and stab.
Is there anything that you and your sister have a memory of that only you two have? Something fond, something that you both cherish? Anything substantial to where if I were to link with her that she would trust to come to this tent alone without her sister?
Why don't you just psionically link you and Matra to Zienna?
I could do that too.
Otherwise, alternatively, I mean, you could just go whisper in the wind and like, yoink her and, you know. Because, like, if we talk to her, it might just end poorly, and she might just be like, hey, somebody's talking to me. And then all of
That's the other concern I had. That's kind of why I was thinking maybe if somebody who wasn't frozen with us, such as Miris, distracted Atina, they could give us the opportunity to do that with less suspicion.
I mean,
I don't think Irini was with us, was she?
True, Irini was not. It was her and Spit. Her and Spit who got...
Yeah, that's right.
It was... So, Irini, through some way, shape, or form, was able to escape the petrification. Spit and Matra were used as bargaining chips that time. And at that point, during the serpent encounter, Miris had just joined the party, so he got thrown into all this mess against his will.
Oh, I thought it was after.
No, it was literally like 2 sessions after he joined, got thrown into the
Hey, you
Hedrun.
joined, and now
the
you're
Hedrun mist.
petrified.
But he did not meet the original Atina. That's where I was going with it. He didn't know what to look for at the camp, besides what the party described, because he never met Atina before. But yeah, he would have met Hedrun. The only person I think who wasn't at that encounter, would have been Irini. Irini was freed, and that was where she joined up with Knut.
Oh, we make Dakota play with himself.
Classic too many DMPC move.
Yeah. And then we can just blame you when it goes south and doesn't go our
That
way.
is also
Yeah.
very true.
It's a win-win for us.
It's like being a meteorologist. Blame him when it's horrible, but when it goes good, man, it's great.
Yeah.
I don't know if I really have a great memory with just Zienna. The only thing that I can think of is when Atina first went in, like when she completed the ritual to become a higher member of the Church of Oral. It was right around that time when Zienna left to pursue her own magics and not be a part of the church. Not that she really was a part of the church anyway, because of her. It's complicated, but that's the only thing that I can remember is we were both like together when she completed the ritual, and it was very exciting. But it really isn't like there's nothing there that would. There's nothing really substantial there. We really didn't spend a lot of time by ourselves. Atina was always with us.
Real quick question: Are we alone right now? Like, are we like in our like? I'm not like alone, but are we still with the people that brought us in?
Yeah, like, are we walking by and just not talking to anyone?
You
'Cause we're
would have
doing
been
all
guided.
telepathically, right?
You would have been guided in like towards the center of the camp by God, hold on. I have him written down. By Quell. The chief himself would have went off in a different direction shortly after you guys started making your way to the center. People would have been like giving you an interesting set of looks, but they wouldn't have been like, like
We're just like
they wouldn't have
standing
given
there,
you.
like potentially even gesturing slightly, just talking and not talking at all, just staring at each other.
I mean, that is very true. That is a very true possibility there, that you guys were like looking at each other having this conversation. So like anybody that you guys walk past, they would just like see you all looking at each other and then like continuing to walk forward with no words coming from your mouths.
And like emoting slightly or
Yeah.
reacting to
Some
things.
small reactions on your faces, yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we weren't like total psychopaths. Like while they're like touring us around the camp saying like, so this is where and we're just like, completely lost in our own minds.
1,000-yard stairs, not
Oh,
paying
yeah.
any attention to what's going on.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. But you would pass several different tents of people who like I said, they would give you like almost like a look of affirmation, given that you're being led by a different druid member into the camp. But there's no sense of maliciousness. There's nothing. They seem to be remaining quite neutral to your presence being here, especially given that you're coming from the direction that the chief had traveled, which to them would probably signal some form of approval for you even being here. So they kind of just leave you be. For the most part, you would pass the shaman that I mentioned earlier and be very like you. At some point here, would arrive at the central location where there's probably the largest fire roaring right now. You can kind of feel the warmth off of that. For anybody who doesn't have a ring of warmth, it is a very, very nice change of temperature. Those of you with a ring of warmth, it just feels slightly warmer, honestly, because you're already in a pretty good spot. But you would see, like I said, a couple of tents over, maybe 30 feet away, the image of Atina and Zienna having conversation. Picture you would have seen the serpent in the distance, and you had that communications. As you would be led to the center of camp, Quell would look to each of you. Do you have your own food? Do you need items to you need something to, you know, quell any form of hunger. We have a herd of elk that we've, you know, been hunting up to this point. A couple of them we have taken to, well, as you could smell with the fire roaring, preparing a meal for our people that we have here. We could always prepare extra if you don't have anything yourself, or didn't feel comfortable with that, or did feel comfortable with that, sorry. As
I would
Aethros
say
pulls
we're-
out his rations.
I would say we're all right on food. One of our members who is currently not feeling well was also curious if maybe her sister was traveling with you. And if she is, if there's any way that you could send her our way, possibly.
Well, who is the... I can answer your question. Who is the person that you're looking for?
I think she said her sister's name was Zienna.
Zienna. Well, yes, she is. She's been traveling with us for quite some time now. We found her. I say we found her. More like they found me. She was already with the group when I was found traveling in the north here myself. Sure. I can see if she's free to have a conversation with this individual of yours. What did you didn't give me what her name was, or their name.
It's about her sister Matra. It's the youngest of their sisters. We're hoping to speak with her alone about what's been going on.
Okay. I'll see if she's open to conversation. She's been a bit preoccupied since she's been here. Recently, in the last day and a half, we've taken another new individual under our wing for now, traveling with us northward a little ways, who also is one of her sisters. Apparently, I didn't realize she had more than one. So, it's news to me, but I will see if she's free for conversation. And
I would kind of gesture out my hand towards him, and if you could do it quietly, not to draw suspicion, we would appreciate that. We're just concerned about her and her sister and what's going on. And then in my hand would be 8 gold for him to kind of, keep it on the hush hush.
You're trying to bribe me.
No, I am giving you incentive to help her youngest sister and her. A bribe would be something more substantial. It's more of a gesture of good faith and appreciation.
Incentive to keep this on the down low. He would like push your hand like kind of back closed with your money inside. We of the Druids, anything monetary has no meaning to us. But I will take your words at the value that they are, and I will try to keep it on the down low.
I've got a large Yeti belt if you want it.
Make an insight check, Ebrin. Yeah, you feel pretty confident that he'll keep it on the down low.
And I can't bolster that either then?
I would allow you to bolster this one. Because technically you did fail. I would allow you to bolster this one. $14. You can't quite tell why, but you feel as though he might be lying. as he says he'll keep it on the down low and would begin heading towards Zienna.
Looks like we might have to get the chief involved, guys. But I also don't think this is going to work out. So
You would watch as he, because you saw where Zienna and Atina were. You would watch as he approaches. As Atina, like after this conversation, Atina seems to have disappeared into maybe the tent near, next to where they were having their conversation. Zienna seems to be watching like a squirrel jump between two tree branches that are nearby. As Quell approaches, the two of them have a conversation out at earshot, and she looks over at the party, and you would see a face that was once kind of cheerful talking to Atina becomes one that is very serious and straight-faced as she would begin making her way over to the party by herself, as Quell kind of stays behind, like curious as to why you can tell that there's like his facial expression completely, like he's confused as to why she had such a huge shift. But she approaches the individuals that are all standing at the center of this camp. You mentioned the name Matra. Where is she?
is there a private place we can talk, or would you be comfortable going to our tank and talking there out of earshot of others?
Yeah, no, I got a spot. And she would, like, in a...
Insight check?
Yeah, go for it.
Like, is this a spot that would be, I don't know, convenient to murder us all?
You feel her hostility that's kind of like beginning to grow a bit more. While you can tell that she's being honest that she has a spot, you don't know what's awaiting you if you go there. You don't have a good feeling in your stomach.
Telepathically, I let everyone else know, like, something's fishy. I don't trust her.
It's possible her sister's already gotten to her and she's already involved in this, so...
Yeah. She might be taking us to that serpent.
Well, if it starts leaving the camp, we can gesture to go to our stuff. I don't know. I guess follow her for the meantime, and if it gets too close to the edges or the fog, kind of stop.
Yeah, just stab her with the pointy end, right? Right, Matra?
Sure. Let's go
Alright,
with
you heard
that.
her. Figure out what's located to kill her living sister.
If it's absolutely necessary, but I'd really prefer we didn't.
It's
She
She doesn't
absolutely
sound very
enough.
happy though.
She's clearly hostile right now. You want me to link
I get that
us and
vibe.
you can start You want me to link you and you can start talking to her as
No.
we're walking here?
No, I'm good. I'll stay in my little bottle. I'm good.
You're gonna have to come out eventually, you know.
You're about to come out in a little bit wherever we're going here, so...
Yeah.
Please don't make me. Anyway, as the party, again, quietly, like, makes their way, through the camp, you would notice that she is taking you, like, if the lightning tank is to the west, she would be taking you, to the eastern side of the camp. But you do notice that she doesn't seem to be leading you out of the camp, more so just an area where there's less tents, that are, like, scattered. A little bit more of an open patch. There's still tents, like, beyond where you guys are. It seems to be a bit more open for whatever purpose. There's the snow here is very it hasn't been disrupted, so maybe it's just due to people spreading themselves out. You're not quite sure why, but you're still within the camp, just on the far eastern side. There you don't see the fog that you would associate with the serpent. At least it's not close enough that you kind of raise a red flag. But she would look around and see that like there's just off in the distance there's like one individual out on patrol on the far side, And she would look back at all of you. All right, we're in a private location. What did you want to talk about?
I would say, well, your sister would like to talk to you about what's currently going on with this situation and how you're in danger. And then in my hand, I would put out the vial and tell Matra to get out and come out.
There would be this, like, overwhelmingly, overly, over-the-top sigh. Telepathically, of course, through all of your minds. As, Ibrin, you kind of, like, drop the vial out of your hands, and, there would be, again, the poof, and, coming out of this, like, small mist that would have appeared around her would be the image of Matra. Not the image, the Matra, the one and only. As she, pops out of the vial, you would see there is this, like, really heavy tension between Matra and Zienna. Like, very, very not happy. As Zienna, size-wise, Matra is definitely the shortest sister. Like, Zienna's probably the tallest one of the three, so it'd be Matra, Atina, and then Zienna. But Zienna is the middle sister as far as age is concerned. As she looks up to Zienna, like, trying not to make too much eye contact before looking away, she would look at the party. So, no, sorry, lost my train of thought there for a hot second. I got distracted. Matra would look at Zienna. Hi, Zienna. It's been a while, hasn't it? And Zienna would look down at her. Why are you here? Well, you see, Atina isn't really Atina. Atina's a, she's actually a frost spirit who's taken over her body, and she's hunting you down because she needs you for a ritual to take over your body and, well, bring back, Hedrun, the Frost Witch, because that's who's taken over Atina's body. And Zienna would, like, look at Matra, and, like, there's a glare that, like, doesn't break this entire conversation that the two of them are having. But Atina's currently in camp. She's not a Frost Witch. She's not... I have a hard time believing that she's the individual that you're proclaiming she is. Especially given the fact that all the shit that you pulled when we were kids and went off and took a shortcut to awaken magic power and then lied about it for the longest time. Not just to me, not just to Atina, but to the Church of Oral, the place that was housing you, who was trying to help you. You've been a liar for a very long time, Matra. Why should I believe you now? Well... you should, like, look to the party. Can you guys help me with this conversation?
At the end of the day, your sister still loves and cares about you. And we wouldn't be here if the fucking sake of the world wasn't at risk. Your sister has nearly killed me personally twice, our entire group at least once. She has stolen my blood. She has threatened world domination. She's almost blew up an entire city. And I get that there is familial issues, and I understand that, and we can talk about that some other time. But the more we talk here, the more your sister is most likely going to overhear and put everybody, not only in this encampment, in danger, but us in danger as well.
It's funny. Oh, first off, so you cast Zone of Truth on everyone in the area?
I just realized I didn't have it prepared. So
oh,
no, I didn't.
Got you. Okay.
I got really excited because I remembered I had the spell, and I'm like, and looked and saw, oh no, it's not prepared.
Damn. This would have been an optimal time for it too.
Yeah.
I mean, you could still say you cast Zone of Truth and try to go with a deception roll.
No.
As Zienna listens to your words, Ibrin, she looks down at Matra and she looks at you. You know, this is funny because all of you match the descriptions of who she told me was trying to resurrect this ice witch, this Hedrun. She said that a group of individuals was coming here to try and take me to resurrect this woman from the old elk tribe known as Hedrun, who was the chosen of Oral. And she came to warn me that they were after me. She came to warn me, inform the druids that she was worried for her own protections from these people who were traveling to find, well, myself. She was worried that they were going to kill her. And so, we took her under our wing a couple of days ago. And now suddenly, you all show up here, proclaiming that it's the opposite. And you bring my sister, the one that she was claiming is leading this entire endeavor. Please forgive me for being confused.
Is someone as short as her stature and how visibly shaken she is, seems like she could be the brains of an operation. I've nearly killed your sister on accident because she was intimidating your other sister who joined your party because your sister froze half my face off and nearly killed me when I was trying to sleep.
And yet you're
But
still
you
standing.
really think your youngest sister, this one, and I put a hand on her shoulder, is capable of something like that? I get that she may have taken a shortcut with some stuff, but you think that she could really pull off something like that?
There would be an audible whisper, even amidst all of this tension. You would just hear Matra in a very soft voice, Ibrin, please don't touch me. Just, out of all the priorities she would have, she is worried about this, even now. As you say this to her, I want you to make a persuasion roll. Technically, it would be... So, here's the thing. The roll itself, by default, would be at disadvantage. But because you have Matra with you, who is also trying to claim the case, it would be... which ordinarily would give you advantage, it would be a straight roll for persuasion. Because Zienna's pretty pissed.
I have, like, oh no, give me guidance.
This is acceptable. As he slaps you on the knee and says good words.
Red Bolster.
I would say you would have technically failed the roll if you wish to side bolster.
Yeah.
We're gonna milk this for as much as it's worth.
Yeah.
For legitimate reasons, not because I want you to use. Okay. If what you're saying has any merit of truth, then that means I can't trust either of my sisters right now. Because you're both feeding me the opposite information. I came out here with the fullest intention of trying to get all of you removed from this camp based off of what we know. Based off of what I know. But now I'm not so sure. How can you tell that my sister is not who she says she is? How can you prove that to me? To give me more validity to believe you, elf.
I would hold up my finger, like the waiting motion, and I would pull out Atina's note. And I would hold it with both of my hands and be like, this is your sister's writing here. This is the note that she wrote, ironically to me, because these assholes around me thought it would be funny to have me sleep in the same room as her. And the night that I decided to stay out a little bit later, around a fire, to warm up and decompress my own issues I have going on with my life, I come back to what I thought was Atina was now somebody else who froze half my face and left a note behind. And as you can see, as she continues to write, her words are changing and something is different. And I still have Atina's note in my inventory, so if I need to read it, I can.
Nah, I got you.
So
She would, if you extend the note out to her, she would take it from your hand and look it over.
I would extend it out, but I'm not physically giving it to her. Like, I'm keeping my fingers
gotcha.
on it, but she could physically read it.
She would read it up, probably, you imagine, several times, over the course of the next couple minutes. As, she finishes reading it for whatever number she's actually on. She looks to you, looks to the rest of your party, looks to Matra. This is her handwriting. It starts that way anyway. It gets a bit scribbly at the end there. But this is hers. And she asked you to seek out Grand Priestess Phrygia on her behest.
And
You
we
notice the tension seems to be lifting little by little between like herself and all of you. If what this has here is merit, if what this has here has merit, then there's a good chance that, well, then I myself would not be safe at this encampment anymore. Well,
I'd kind of give her like a duh smirk. Like, yeah, it's kind of what
Good
we're
boy.
saying. Smirk.
then the question becomes, where would I go? That's not for you all to need to know. More so me. You can tell, like, yeah, like the gears are spinning a little bit in her mind. She's really thinking over what's going on here. The notes seem to have had a remarkable impact on her thought processes here. So first off, kudos to you for remembering you had that.
Thank you.
Yeah, that came in clutch.
Yeah, that was good. I'd be lying if I said I didn't forget about it for a second there myself.
Oh, I had the trump card. I was just waiting for it to get to that point to where critical failure was needed or critical success was needed.
Right.
I didn't want to lead with that.
She like leans up against the tree that's nearby. I apologize for my hostilities. Matra, you and I are... While I'm still peeved about what happened, I can overlook that for the time being. How did you know she was seeking me out? How did this come about? This feels weird, but it would explain her sudden appearance, trying to lure me into her trap.
I would kind of look at Aethros, and then I'd look at Ono and be like, how do we want to describe this next part? So my
Pull out
buddy,
my hammer. I'm like, yeah, I got this hammer, and this priestess lady told me everything, kind of, sort of.
essentially this hammer is able to expel Hedrun from Atina. And it's from some ancient, I don't know, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, Raven clan from millennia ago.
Raven Queen deity. The last part's accurate, though.
That. And oh no, and my Jester dead, oh no, and Aethros here ended up taking some fluid that allowed them to talk to this corporeal deity and essentially warned that Athena would be joining your group within the next day and that we're behind and that your life is in danger. And look, we don't have all the answers either, but we knew that you're in danger in this whole rhyme in the north here, and this never-ending frost has to go. And this is one thing that we honestly got kind of thrown into as a group.
That's a lot to handle.
It is a pretty big hammer.
I mean, yes, the hammer too. That is remarkable in stature. It just looks like a large hammer to me. I don't really see what's so special about it, but I'm sure I'll take your word for it. What it can be used for.
That's just the tip of the iceberg too. But you're caught up to the most recent events. So as far as where you should go, there's strength in numbers. I would recommend maybe coming with us. At that point, honestly, our only plan was to get to you and make sure Hedrun wasn't fulfilling her wishes with these giant towers and cities. But honestly, I kind of look at everybody. I don't know what we're supposed to do next. We're here. We're talking to her.
You would hear Ono chime in. Well, according to the priestess, to make it easier to expunge Hedrun from Athena's body, well, we need to eliminate the remaining simulacrums, which is the large angry serpent and the Sephic looking one that's in the north. I mean, we might be able to expunge her by just hitting her with the hammer now, but she might be able to resist it right now. I'm not really sure. We really didn't plan how this was gonna go beyond here. We're pretty close-minded of save the druid, save the world, but what do we do now that we're here? Didn't think we'd get this far.
Yeah.
Kind of scratch the back of my head and be like, yeah, this is... Probably should have thought that out a little bit further. But as you can see, this is one thing that we all came up here for and have just been consistently thrown into. Save the world, save the world, save the world. Over and over. But yeah, Hedrun has three things that give her power. We destroyed one, she's got two more. One's a giant snake, which if you look off in the distance, Big Tune informed us there's a giant fog over there. Yeah, that's a giant skeletal snake that's frozen our entire party to concrete or stone before.
You hear Ono chime in. It was ice. It was ice, buddy.
Ice. Sorry, I thought it was stone.
It's okay. I got it all in here. And he like points to his journal that's been like just transcribing like everything. It's all in here. I got you.
So, if you've been curious why there's a giant fog storm not moving towards you, but just off in the distance all day, that'd be why.
That doesn't fill me with much. You said it caused you problems previously.
Well, this little one, and I point towards Matra, not touching her, was frozen for the longest time. And that one, and I point behind me towards Spid. Those two were frozen in ice. So we had help from a Rini here, gesturing towards Rini, and somebody else who's not with us right now, essentially save us and get us out of that situation.
Okay. That does make this a bit hard. What I'd like to say, because I don't know how much this fake Athena, Hedrun spirit, what they know about all of you being here, or my interactions with all of you now. It might be better to do this under, like, either we leave or try and fight her under the cover of night, maybe. I don't know. We could try to lure her out of the camp, maybe, and get her away from the druids, and maybe take care of her that way. I would say we could take care of her in camp, but that's kind of a camp rule that all of our fighting has to be done outside. If a hostile party comes into camp and starts trying to threaten things, there's always exceptions to those rules, but if we're going to try and do something, it can't be in camp. It's a sacred tradition. So if we wanted to fight, we'd have to do it in a way that no one notices, or it has to be outside of camp. Or we could just leave, or try to, maybe, but I don't know how far we'll get.
Well, unfortunately, you invited a dragon to sleep with the sheep already, so if there's any way we can mask our tracks walking out here, I would vote to personally leave now and try to head back to one of the cities and come up with a game plan versus being out here in the wilderness. Otherwise, if we're going to fight her, honestly, I'd try to get your chief on board and try to get as much muscle as we can. And I mean, this thing took us out in a matter of seconds. I know you have a lot of people in your caravan here, but I am still not the most optimistic about what could happen. But we do have strong fighters, and I would kind of pat Victune on the back of his armor, and we are stronger than last time. So, I mean, everybody else, what are your thoughts? Personally, I think if we can cover our tracks and leave, that'd be my vote. Miris, Victune, Aethros, Sereni, I don't know. Thoughts? Mitra?
I'm down with whatever.
All right, so you have one for leaving and one for neutral.
I feel like Hedrun is going to be able to find us if we do leave, and then we're just going to be waiting for her to ambush us. So I don't know if there's a way to force her to make a move on us while we're in camp, and then all the other druids would hopefully side with us and protect us.
I mean, we could just pop up from right behind her and try to startle her into a fight right away.
Or just literally walk up to her and say, no, Zienna's not going with you. And then call her out. Call her, let her know that we know she's Hedrun. See what she does.
I could try to sneak up behind her and provoke her like that. Keep you guys kind of at a distance for a little bit.
That's where I don't know if you provoke her and then the druids see that, and then whose side are they going to be on? We want all the druids to be on our side, so we definitely want to make it look like she's attacking us, and not the other way around.
Matra, you can look like your sister, correct?
I mean, I've done it before, and she would use her Mask of Many Faces from her warlock abilities to disguise herself. Like, she would change her appearance to be that of Athena. It fooled you.
Well, Zienna is what I'm referring to, not Athena.
Oh. Yeah, I can do that, but there's going to be one problem with it. A little more noticeable this time. And you would watch as she takes on the appearance of Zienna. She is, easily, 6-7 inches shorter than Zienna is. There's a bit of a height difference here. Might fool some people, but not anybody who knows her pretty well.
I think Oh No could make you some stilts.
Of course I can make you some stilts. Just gotta give me a... let me just look around and see what I got here to work with.
Yeah.
You got
There's
like
a couple
lifts.
sticks running around. Yeah.
You got stuff in her shoes to lift her and make her taller.
Ono's gonna do a investigation check. What does he find?
I mean, if Matra can look like your sister and pass it off, I hate to put you in the middle of the fray, kid, but we might be able to get Hedrun to attack you and I, and then the rest of the group could get
Why would we attack Zienna, though, or fake Zienna?
because fake Zienna would call out Athena for being Hedrun and that she's not going to follow with her plans and that she needs to leave or we need to leave and we're going to leave or something like that.
So I should pretend to be Zienna and convince Athena Hedrun that I know that she's Hedrun. Is that what you're saying? I should put myself to be in the location of highest danger.
You know, like the same places we've been consistently, yes.
Yeah, but look at
It's
how much
just
more
a
muscly
thought.
you are compared to me.
It's just a thought.
I'm supposed to stab them, not them stab me.
Yeah, this is where I think it's just have Zienna call her out herself. Figure her out.
But we literally just
It
went
makes no difference.
all the way out here to make sure that she's safe, her blood doesn't get taken, or she doesn't get taken
That's
for
why
the
we stay
ritual.
near her and just protect her.
I'm alright with whatever.
You would
It
see.
does look like leaving is ultimately not going to get us too far, considering how fast that thing moves.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think we want to leave, and we want to fight her here and have the druids on our side. I just want to make sure that the druids are going to help us and not attack us.
Zienna, do you have favor with the chief at all?
I'd be lying if I said it was a lot of favor. I've done a few things for him in the past. I might be able to use some of that to our advantage, but I don't know how far it'll get us. I can try though.
Yeah, use all the favor you got.
Well, I think
your life depends on it.
I think her and Big Toon, if they can convince the chief to maybe get some of their strongest warriors to be ready, or at least help us with this conversation. I don't want to bring a fight to the encampment, but like I said, you got a dragon sleeping with the sheep right now, so it's only a matter of time.
No matter what the situation is, the favors that I pull, all of it will require that she makes the first move. I can guarantee that the chief, and no matter what here, if we are trying to be the ones to incite the first round of violence, we will not have the support of the druids. But if we can get Hedrun to slip, or sorry, Hedrun, Athena, to slip, to anger her enough, or something, that she uses a spell, or tries and attacks with a dagger, or a sword, or whatever it is she carries. I guess I really never looked at what she carries. Once that happens, the druids would have our support in this coming battle. Something tells me that the next the next few hours here are going to be critically important. For not just your survival, but sounds like for mine, given...
Yeah, it's mostly for your survival.
Okay, just getting some clarification.
Yeah.
I can talk to the chief, inform him of the situation, but it will come down to the interactions that we have with Athena Hedrun. We'll just call her Hedrun. the interactions that we have with Hedrun that will determine what happens. If she does not take the bait, then we have to find a way to lure her out of the camp. And if we do that, then I guess we risk the serpent. You said it almost took you guys out last time. Or it took you out in seconds last time.
I think.
More like minutes, but we were trapped in some caves and it throws some of the passengers off. We were caught off guard.
The last two people left was myself and Aethros. I don't know what happened to Aethros. I remember just getting stuck on the ground.
Yeah, I flew out of the
And-
cave and there's nowhere to go, and yeah.
Right. I think I'm not. I don't know how to proceed. I'm not opposed to either of your plans. We could try to leave. I have the ability to cover our tracks, at least physically, but it'll leave a magical. It won't leave physical tracks. It'll leave a magical trail behind us, because it would be a stealth-based spell I'm very familiar with. But you might be right that it might not get us very far. And she would like look to Bigtoon. Your Leonin friend here looks like he's aching for a fight.
Oh, she's the reason why his entire clan is dead.
Oh, I mean,
Also, I'm just. I'm always ready to fight. So
Got the bloodlust.
pretty much, yeah. I mean,
I'll go talk to the chief and let him know. But I feel like it would be good to have something in place or an idea of what we're going to do before I do so that way, if things do shift, he's already aware. Or at least of what we're trying to do. Whether or not it plays out that way, well, things change all the time. That's to be expected.
I would say since our earlier conversation, Bigtoon and I, when speaking with the chief, Bigtoon's name carries some weight. Him going with you can only add to the seriousness of this situation we're in. I mean, all of us could go with you, or some of us could go with you, but I think at least having him go with you also adds some value to the conversation.
I think just having him come with me would be good. And I say that because if all of us were to travel in this large group to talk to the chief, I feel like there's a higher risk of either information maybe being expressed incorrectly or overheard by the wrong people, or overall just coming off as a bit more intimidating than it needs to. I'm not saying he's a man you can truly intimidate. I mean, you've seen how tall he is and his stature, but I think just having Bigtoon, if Bigtoon has a positive, weight with him as well, maybe the two of us together can have an impact. But again, everything hinges on her attacking first or us luring her out of the camp and dealing with it then. It is going to be really weird, though, trying to attack my sister. And she would look to Matra. Not that I wasn't considering attacking you for being here. I don't really talk about you. And Matra, goes from this, maybe pseudo, moderately content face now that Zienna's not super pissed off, to just, a bit doom and gloom, because no one here, except for herself and now Quell, knows she exists as her sister.
I'd say telepathically, hey kid, if you want to go back in the bottle, I can carry you for a while.
I'd be
Or
lying
just
if it
slap
wasn't
her.
tempting.
Don't let her talk to you like that.
Bigtoon, I guess, go with Zienna and, tell me when you want the rest of us to move up, I guess.
okay. Sounds like a plan to me.
as the two of them, Zienna and Bigtune, set off to find the chief in the camp to have this discussion about the current events, and the remaining party is left to their own devices inside this open area amidst the eastern end of the encampment. As we make our preparations for what could be a difficult but possible encounter with Hedrun and the Serpent, I think that's where we're going to leave it for today.
Oh boy.